Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the Baron's house tutorial. Today we're going to be building, well, I should say finishing up the rest of the thing, but I did get a strange idea, and that idea is to make the roof two different colors. I guess the thinking behind this was this side really looks kind of plain and boring, but I mean it is a barn, so that's kind of expected. But the brown, I don't think that's going to look good across the whole house, so I'm going to make it two different colors. If you think this might look weird, go ahead and skip to the end of the video, see how it turned out. Otherwise, you can just keep it one color or do what I'm doing and test your luck and see how good it looks. But no guarantees. I just think a little variation might do it some good. So originally I was going to do blue, but I think now I've settled with this the gray stained clay. It's not too out there, but it still gives it a little bit of a different look. So to start this thing off, I'm thinking we should probably go from the bottom to the top, since there is still a few sections. And I didn't even show you guys how to do these, so just forget those right now. But yeah, we're going to start from the top roof and then kind of work our way up. Now this spot right here is going to be a bit tricky, so we'll start from, well, let's say right here, and then we'll go over one block to the left, so we end up right there. And then, you know, if you want to, you could bring these over 2 blocks, but then let's see, we'll start going up from here. So we'll start working our way up, and you see that you run into a little block right here, so just go ahead and remove that and then just keep working your way up. If you'd like to, you could replace this altogether with just a full block. I think that might be easiest, and then just keep making your way up to the top until you reach that block. Once you get there, you're going to want to switch to your spruce wood half slabs, place that there, and then you can either make the design right now or just work your way back down. For me, I'm just going to place the full block, then the upside down stair, and then the half slab on top of that to finish it off, and then I will go back down on the other side. Now when you're done with this, make sure and place in those upside down stairs beneath, at least in the spots that people are going to see it, because that will make it look a lot better in the end. So you see we run into one of these again, so just go ahead and delete that, and then if you want to, once again, just remove that and replace it with a full block, like so, and then you can just keep moving your way down until you reach the bottom. The bottom is going to be, let's see, we'll make it right here. And then you can just drag this over and do the exact same thing on this side. And now, before we start this next little middle roof right here, what we're going to want to do is just make a cross beam, drag this all the way across until we reach the other side right here, and then we'll also place another right here, so we just connect both of the roofs together, and that's going to make placing in all the other blocks, especially on these corner areas, a hell of a lot easier. So before we place in the main stuff on the roof, what we're going to do is make another outline around this section. So for that, you can take out your spruce wood stairs, and you'll also need a full block for this one. So the full block is going to end up going right there, and you can also do one right over here. And then after that, just go ahead and switch it up back to your spruce wood stairs and just work your way up to the top like that, and then go back down on the other side until you reach right here. Once you hit that spot, you can do 2 upside down stairs beneath the full blocks, and then 2 upright stairs on the outsides of each one of those. And then of course, don't forget to do your upside down stairs beneath those top 2 blocks as well. And then after that, you can switch it back to the half slab, place that there, then go back to a full block, then a stair, and then to finish it off, go ahead and put your half slab on that top block right there. Now that that's done, you can switch to your roofing material and do your best to connect all of these together. Now, before I get going, I'm going to kind of drag this over so it meets up right there. That's just going to make things a bit easier to connect. Now, as you can see, this is kind of just like a guessing game so far, so to make it easier, and I've said this many times in the past, although you don't have to do it, what I would recommend is bringing this over until you reach a spot where you see they can connect, and then just drag this one over. And go ahead and do that until you reach the top, and that's going to make placing in your roof blocks a lot easier so you don't have to guess as much. Right guys, so for the next step, what we're going to be doing is start making some walls around these rooms over here, and you may have noticed this little section and are probably wondering what the hell is it. Well, I'm thinking, even though it's small and it may not provide too much room, especially for like a whole dining room or kitchen or whatever, I think it might provide just enough space for us to stick a stairway in there. And usually our stairways end up getting in the way of something else, but I think if we place this in, it might keep the stairway out of the way, and it also might add a lot more detail to the exterior of the build as well. So for this little section, or I should say big section over here, what we're going to do is find this pillar right here, then skip a gap of 1 and place another pillar of 4 right here. So I'm only going to place 1 block, but you guys of course do need to place the full 4 in. So we'll place the next one after a gap of 3 right here, and then after that we'll scoot 3 over to the right, place another pillar, then we'll go back 3 like this, place another, and then we'll skip a gap of 1, place this pillar right here, then skip 3, place this one right there, then we'll move forward, place 1 more pillar, and then for the final pillar over here, we're going to skip 1 last gap of 3 and then slap that one in right there. So for the next step, after you've raised each one of those up 4, we're going to start placing in some cross beams, so all of these connect together. And then once you finish putting those in, you can also place some little sticky-outy bits on each one of the corners on all of the pillars. And now that we have all of that done, what we need to do now is decide which of these areas is going to be 2 stories and which of these areas is only going to be 1. So I'm thinking maybe we can raise each one of these up 4, like this. And then it's going to come all the way across to this side, and this is also going to be raised up 4. And this is where I guess the 2 walls kind of connect. So what we're going to do is place a crossbeam there, and then drag one more crossbeam all the way to the other end, and also connect these as well. And then this section right here is only going to be 1 story. So what we can do here is just create our little roof shape like this, and we'll just do the standard one. You know what? Let's make it a bit more fancy. So instead we'll go up 2 like this, and then maybe up 2 again. And then for the final one, we'll only go up 1 block like that. And now for this area right here, what we can do to finish this off is place 1 more pillar there, and then just connect it all together to the main portion of the roof. And then we'll place in our sticky-outy bits all around. And then after you've done all of those, you can make another roof shape. Now we've got to decide how big we want this one to be as well. So I'm thinking we can either have it match up or be a little different. It might be cool if it's a bit different, so we'll just go a bit of a smaller slant up, so the normal triangle shape. And then of course you can do the exact same thing over here, although it isn't going to be the full thing. It's only going to be half of it that you need to build. And really quick, before we start filling anything else in, I'm going to do a quick fly around just so you guys can make sure you got everything down correctly. And I've noticed that just to make things a little bit easier, we may want to place in some more pillars right there, and also right here as well. That's just going to kind of help us fill in our walls. Now before we move on to those, I'd like to finish outlining most of these roofs. So what we can do is place some stairs in here, and then just work our way up to the top. And as always, this is going to be the exact same as that spot over there, so just keep that in mind. So we'll fill this in and go back down on the other side until we reach right about here. And then if you want to, you can just connect this all the way over until you reach this wall over to the left, and then same thing over here to the right, although this one is going to end up kind of hitting this roof right here. So once you get to that spot, you can switch it over and place a stair facing this way, and then do the same thing over on this side. Now you can see that I've completed all of that outlining and also placed in my upside down stairs along with this little medieval design, although I did skip out on placing that thing over here. I just thought it might look a bit weird. So now before we move on to this little triangle shape over here, what I'm going to do is just connect this with a crossbeam, so it's going to be easier to sort of connect that whole roof area together. And when placing in some of the main roof blocks, you are going to need to delete some of these stairs. But before we ended up doing that, let's go ahead and finish up this area over here. So for this one, all you're going to need is a full block right here, oops, on either side. And then on top of that, this stair is actually going to end up getting switched over to, we'll say something like that, and then we'll place another one, and then from there we can just work our way up to the top like so. And then we'll go back down on the other side. So we'll place 2 upside down stairs like this, and then 2 upright stairs on the outsides of each one of those. And then we can finish it off by placing 2 upside down stairs there, and then our little medieval design on the top. And now that that's done, we can go ahead and take our stairs, drag this over until we reach that wall right there. And then we can go ahead and do the same exact thing over on this side. And after that's complete, you can take your main roofing material and just start dragging this and filling in all of the roof. And when you're finished, it should look something along the lines of this. Now you can notice that a lot of the roofs, or at least the tops of them, are looking extremely flat. So a quick fix for that is just to place a stair facing outwards towards all of the little designs like so, and we can also do that up here. And then after that, what you want to do is find the middle of each roof and place a half slab right there. So we'll do that on each one. And then from that half slab, you can just kind of point inwards towards it, and then just place the stairs until they connect to each one of the other sides. And then for this one, a quick little idea that you could try is placing stairs and then actually having it work its way up until you reach that right there, just to sort of break up all the plainness in the roof. So now we're almost done with the roofs. All we have left to do is this little area on the front, and then we'll also be making one last section over here to the back. So for this one over here, what we're going to do is take out our spruce wood stairs, and we'll start from right here because it is going to be a bit tricky sort of connecting these two together. So once you're on this block, go ahead and place one to the left and then one to the right, and then from there you can just work your way up to the top until you reach right there. And then while going back down on the other side, you're only going to be able to place this one block right there, because that's when it starts to interfere with this next roof. So for the next one, we can go ahead and try and start it right here. We'll place that there, and then from that block, you're going to see that we can go down, I'd say maybe one like this, and then underneath that, we're going to need to place a full block, and then underneath the full block, we'll do an upside down stair, and then one upright stair right there. So then from here on out, the roof should be fairly easy to finish it off. Right guys, so once you're done with that, you should have something that looks quite similar to this, and then after, you can take out your roofing material and start filling in all of the open gaps. Now for this, since we are right next to this little area right here, we might as well take out our second floor wall material and just go ahead and fill this in. And if you'd like to just kind of mix this up a bit, you could take your spruce wood and just flip that right there. Although personally, I don't think it looks as good. Alright guys, so now for the final section, what we're going to do is we're going to find this pillar right here, and we're going to leave a gap of 3 behind it, and then we can raise a pillar of 4 right here. Now our next pillar is going to be also a gap of 3 to the left, so we'll place that there, and then we'll do one more gap of 3, place the next pillar, and then you can raise these each so they're 4 blocks tall. And now that that's done, we can go ahead and take our spruce wood logs and connect each one of these with a crossbeam, and then just like all of the other sections, you can do 2 sticky addy butts on each side of the spruce wood pillars. And now what we have to do is decide which of these sections we want to be a certain height. So for this, I think I'm going to raise the left side up so it's going to be 4 tall. And then this side on the right is probably going to be just like a slanted roof that comes down from this side. So for this, we'll do 2 more sticky addy bits on each side of these pillars, and we can also connect them to the main portion of the building, and then also we'll do 1 cross beam on the front. And now what we can do is make a little triangle shape so we can start on the roof. So for this, we're going to start on the 2 sticky addy bits, and in fact we'll raise these up 2 apiece. Same thing with the blocks above them, and then for that final block we're only going to raise that up 1, and then that should be good. Now for this roof right here, I'm thinking we can either have it slant up this way or we can have it slant down that way, and I think for this case, it might look a little better if maybe we'll start here, say, and then just kind of work our way up from there. And it's kind of be sort of the same pattern as what we did over for that barn area. So we'll do, we could even do something like this. So it's like a really minor slant, but it should, in the end, still look a bit good. In fact, if you want to have it curl up a little bit more towards the end, you could do something like that, and I think that looks pretty cool. So after that, what we can do is add a little more detail, and we'll add in a little thing like this, so you can use your half slabs and then place your fences on top. And if you see any other areas along the build where that might look good, you can do that. So say in between each one of these sticky addy bits, you could try something like that. So for this top spot, we'll place those in and then add in some fences. Another thing you can try is you can grab some grass blocks like this and throw these in instead. And I think this looks really good, especially on the house portion. They might not fit in so well on the barn, but for this area, all you need to do is place in, we'll say 2 half slabs on those sides and then maybe a stair in the middle. And then you can grab your trap doors wherever they may be. So we'll grab those really quick. And then you can just place 3 on the outside right here, and then choose whatever plant you like best and just throw a couple of those in. And I find this looks really good and makes the build stand out. It gives it some color. It just does a whole lot of good. So keep that in mind if you're going around. Make sure and throw a few of those in. If not, you can always just do these simple fence things. And now to finish off this roof, what we're going to do is take our spruce wood full block, we'll place 1 there, and then also bring it 1 to the left, and then we can delete the first one so it kind of sticks out and creates that overhang. And then we'll do the same thing over here to the left, and then just like many times in the past, we'll raise these up until we reach the top right here, and then we can go back down on the other side. I bet you guys are getting familiar with this. And then we can also do the same thing, so the 2 upside down stairs and then the 2 upright stairs on the outsides. And then for that bottom row, you can just connect these all the way over until they reach the roof for the main portion, and then do the same thing right over here. And now, as always, what we're going to do is take our spruce wood logs and connect this little crossbeam until it reaches this roof, and then we can take our stairs, just kind of make these go all the way over until we reach, well, let's see, we'll say this block right here, and then this one. Oops, these are actually the wrong way, so flip those around so they're all facing this way as you go around. And that's going to end up looking a little bit better in the end. And then, of course, you can do some upside down stairs beneath these. And then, where is it? We need a half slab really quick. So we'll take these wherever, here it is. So we'll take that, place that in, then do a full block. Grab our stairs once again, place that there, and then we will do the half slab to finish it off. And then, just like before, you can take your roofing material and then just fill that whole thing in. Alright, so finally we are almost done. We just have a few more steps. All we need to do is fill in the walls and then also add a little more support on the outsides of each one of these pillars. So for that, what we can do is take, like you see right here, our stone brick stairs, and we'll place those on the outsides of each one of these pillars like this, and that's going to be excluding the corners, so there's going to be no need to place those in. And then after you've done that, you can take the half slabs and just place those in right above them. And then for further detail, you can grab yourself some spruce wood stairs and just place this right underneath all of your sticky addy bits. And now for the first floor walls, it's really quite simple. All it is on the first layer, it's going to be a row of these stone brick blocks like that, and then on top of it, it's going to be filled in with the cobblestone. Now I did notice that right here, there is a little bit of just like a sudden stop. So to fix this, what you can do is just grab a stair and place it right there, and that kind of ends it off. And I also forgot to mention that you will also need to fill this roof in right there, and then you may want to do something like that just to make it look a little more fancy. And now to make these walls look a little bit nicer, what we can do is add a few things like windows and doors, and also some little things on the bottom like this. And this is just being made of half slabs, so what you do is just place one on either side and leave an open gap in the middle. Now I would probably stay away from doing them on the corners, as they do end up looking a bit weird right there, and it makes it just look a little too cluttered. Now if you're wondering where you should put like the main entrance for this build, honestly that's up to you, but personally I was thinking maybe something right here. Now we are going to want to spruce this doorway up just a bit, so maybe remove those. And then I know this is ironic since we're trying to spruce it up, but you're gonna need to take your actual spruce wood and maybe just place, I'd say, actually we'll raise these up right there, place these, and then we'll make sort of an archway almost using our stairs and half slabs. So it's going to be something like that, but as you can tell, that really just makes it look a little more defined, which is good. And now for the areas where you're going to want to put a window, I would say probably wherever there's a 3-wide gap and it's not a corner. So say a spot like this would definitely work out well for a window, but then if you have a spot like this where it's a 3-wide gap, it's not a corner, so it seems like it's going to be perfect, but then again, you do have something like this where it's a flower pot above. On those spots, you may only want to do one window like that, and that's actually good because it does give you a little more variation in the kind of window shape, I guess you could say. And next, before you go on and start filling in all the walls with your, well, whatever material you're using for that, for me it's going to be the white stained clay, you may want to find some of your bigger gaps and then add in some like variation of the oak wood just to kind of break up the wall so it's not completely white, but instead you'll have some wood going in there. It makes it look a little more stabilized as well as gives it a lot more detail. Now the places where these are going to look best is probably, once again, your 3-wide gaps. That's probably where most things look best, but yeah, you'll place these in just all around, and then once you're done with that, you can start filling in all of your white stained clay, and I'd recommend doing this completely and then going in after and filling in a lot of your windows. So now that I've filled in all my walls on the second floor and, well, even the third floor, and also given it some windows, what I'm going to do right now is just fly around and show you guys pretty much all the extra detail I added, and then tell you guys how you can also go even further. So for this front part, what I did was just filled everything in with the white, and then on the spots where I could, like these, I tried to give it a 3D effect by actually, I guess this one's probably the best example, by actually pushing the wall material back 1 block. So instead of it being right here and being really flat, since that just doesn't look as good, what I did was I just brought it back 1 block, and that kind of fixed it. Now, there's all that, and then I also added a nice variation to the flower pots and these fences, and I forgot to place in a window right there, so make sure to do that. But, and what else do we have? We have this left side, and I also, before it didn't have these, and for some reason I just thought that looked kind of weird, so I went around the whole build and placed in all those stairs beneath all the sticky addy bits. You could even, if you wanted to, personally, I don't care so much for this, but if you wanted, you could add in your fences. This is really up to you guys how far you want to go in your level of detail, and then also if you have a sticky addy bit beneath a roof, you could place a fence in there. I think that quite looks pretty well. What else is there? Some more flower pots, more windows. There's just a whole array of different things you can do. I mean, we have spots like this where it's a bit more flat, and then other ones where I decided to go the extra mile and add in some fences. Of course, if you do add too many fences, then it starts to look plain again. So try to keep a nice variation of that. And then I think this is sort of approaching the back wall. So once again, I placed in some more windows, tried to give this one up here a 3D effect by bringing the white wool back a bit. So yeah, there's tons of stuff you can do. And then one other thing I noticed that we haven't done a whole lot of, I don't think I've mentioned it at all, but what you can do is, if you see these walls where it's really looking quite flat and you have cobblestone, you can take some stairs and just kind of mix these around, and it makes it look a bit more old and broken down. Really a cool effect in my opinion. And I think if you have the extra time and dedication, definitely go around your build and place some of these in. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for today. So hopefully you did enjoy this little two-part tutorial. If you had any problems, please let me know down in the comments and I'll try to help you out as best as possible. Of course, we still do have the interior to go over, so I'll try to finish that up as quick as possible so I can get you guys some ideas on how to build that. But anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy this. Let me know if you have any suggestions for either the interior or for future builds. I guess my final thoughts on this are, I mean, I really like how it turned out. It's definitely one of our bigger and more detailed builds. I guess if we're going back to the two-tone colored roof, I quite enjoy how that turned out. I think it adds a nice variety. I'm pretty sure if we would have stuck with going all brown, it probably would have looked a bit boring and plain. So I think I might be trying this a bit more in the future. Definitely not for smaller houses, but if we ever do something in the city where we sort of like interlocked or connect a few houses together to sort of make a like a medieval square, I think this is going to be a really cool effect. But yes, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate all the support. Hopefully you, like I said, did enjoy this little two-part tutorial. But anyways, guys, that is it for today. And as always, I will see you in the next one.